of a genius, man. He's a workaholic. Yeah, he loves work. Everything yakhe milhambe nespan. If your diploma, okay, sharp, I promote one.
What I've learned from Kabz is that he was also hungry. Like, me meeting him, I was like, oh, there's actually people who are even like hungry than me.
Yeah.
You understand?
What if I told you that it was never supposed to happen?
Kabz.
Which one to choose to work with forever?
Kabz.
That was easy.
I don't think you guys understand the workmanship behind that man. When Kabza experiences creative's block, he taps into different sounds. So he would leave piano for a second, he start producing kwaito, or he'd do a hip-hop beat, or he'd do... Kabza has Maskandi song.
Kabza hip-hop.
It was a big night for Kabza de Small, winning 4 Metro FM awards for Best Collaboration, Best Produced Album, Best Amapiano, and the big one, Song of the Year.
Being signed under Kabza de Small, sometimes like there's just so much pressure, if you can just admit it.
So the first time I heard about Kabza was through mixtapes. So I used to negarato ragaditeki ko shesha yoko santin. Eketsena ravele ho dadiwa mixtape ke Amapiano. Then now Pichuna party ko Zone 6 kapuka kustokile Kabza. Then there was another song that started becoming hot, Umshove. So now I want to get to 3 vele three making sense ramo ake wave.
Kabza de Small becoming one of the biggest DJs in Africa was never supposed to happen. You see, we're not dealing with your average story here. We're dealing with one in a million. A little boy who was born in Mpumalanga who simply had a dream. A dream to make it big. A dream to do what he loved. Something that was his passion. That passion was what changed the game for Kabza de Small. You see, Kabza de Small, born as Kabelo Petrus Motha on November 29, 1992, grew up in a modest environment in Pretoria after being born in Mpumalanga. You see, a lot of details regarding Kabza de Small's family do remain private, but we do know that he attended Pretoria High School, where he was an average student and he was clearly more focused on his music than he was on his academics. You see, quite simply, from a young age, Kabza showed a lot of interest in DJing and also producing, and he would experiment with sounds and different genres despite his limited resources. And this is an obviously reoccurring theme because we realize that many of South Africa's biggest artists started off with little to no resources, but the resources don't determine whether or not you make it. The passion does. You see, this early passion laid the foundation for his career as he prioritized honing his skills over formal education. Now, not so long after this, Kabza would professionally enter the music industry around 2009, starting off as a DJ that would blend EDM with Afrobeat infused house music. Now, it's very important for us to remember that resources were scarce around this time, but that didn't stop Kabza de Small, and quite funnily enough, he persisted, releasing track after track independently. And wouldn't you know it, a few years down the line, his first major milestone would come in 2016. He would sign to Tyreek De Bruyne and he would drop his debut album, Avenue Sounds. Now, the funny thing about his debut album is that it would feature hits like Uber Everywhere and would also receive a lot of positive feedback from general consumers, and this is the light Kabza needed. This was the moment he had been working towards, just to be taken seriously by the industry. And after this, things would only get crazier because this would mark his entry into the professional scene. And during this period, Kabza de Small wouldn't sleep at all because he would explore various genres, gradually shifting towards the slower, groove-heavy style. He would evolve into what we know as Amapiano. Now, while Kabza de Small is busy honing his skills, something very interesting would happen in 2018 because he would release a song titled Umshove featuring Uli Hleza, and this song would obviously become a massive hit. And it would introduce Kabza de Small to the wider audience. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is what put Kabza de Small's name on the map in South Africa. And after this, there was no slowing down because tracks like Amabele Shaya further boosted his profile, dominating South African airwaves and also parties. This era also coincided with the explosion of Amapiano, which is essentially what you get when you mix kwaito and house with lounge elements, and this obviously helped to Kabza de Small pioneer this genre alongside other artists like DJ Maphorisa no Vicro Deep. However, after 2018, Kabza de Small wasn't done, because now all of a sudden he was receiving attention from industry greats, because in 2019 his career would absolutely skyrocket through a partnership with none other than DJ Maphorisa, and they would form the duo we all know and love as the Scorpion Kings. There was just simply no stopping this group, because everything they would release, I mean everything, would completely top the charts. You see, their collaborative EP Scorpion Kings and also their follow-ups like The Return of Scorpion Kings and Piano Hub would become instant successes, and it would obviously solidify Amapiano's mainstream appeal. It was quite honestly the Scorpion Kings that got Amapiano's name all around the world. And Kabza's solo projects at this time, such as Pretty Girls Love Amapiano and also Amapiano Volume 4, would showcase his production prowess. The guy was clearly growing in his skills and talents, and by 2020 he would transition fully into the Amapiano sound, earning the moniker the King of Amapiano. And this was obviously for his innovative beats as well as his prolific output, because Kabza de Small wasn't sleeping around this time. He was releasing success after success after success. There was nothing that could stop Kabza de Small. But it wouldn't only end with EPs, because his appearances on TV channels like SABC, Channel O, and Mzansi Magic, along with other performances at major events, would continue to amplify his
what you are doing. Isikhathi sakho Kabza kufanele sithi salute. Yeah, not ukuthi hey phela nokuza ungena la ku Instagram ngibona abanye sebelwa hey piano hey what my man, me music is music. All you have to do is that let's appreciate, because ngeke ngikwatiswe ipiano phela uyakwata inhliziyo yakho uzobanjoya that kunayi piano me I don't play piano.
Mina my music talk like you ugcwele yonke indawo it's music wakho it's all over, bro.
Power. And you know the good thing that into magwe yakho no one can take it. No one. Bangakhuluma bathini mfana when it comes to Amapiano ya the man.
However, as big as Kabza de Small's name is getting, he wouldn't be immune to his own controversy, because in 2019 he would actually face a legal dispute with Josiah Mpono of Best by Far Entertainment over a 2016 contract breach, where Mpono accused him of releasing music like Umshove through other labels without his permission, leading to tensions with DJ Maphorisa. Now, Josiah did attempt to reach out to DJ Maphorisa around this time, because he's asking himself why exactly would Kabza de Small do this and sign to you instead of releasing his music through me. However, in this attempt, DJ Maphorisa would decide to turn around and attack Josiah for his actions. However, it seemed as though the controversy would die down in subsequent years. Luckily, this controversy wasn't big enough to derail Kabza de Small's career, because he would continue to go from success to success. Kabza de Small at this point was getting awards left, right and center for not only his music but also his impact on the genre of Amapiano. There was simply no way you could go without hearing the name Kabza de Small in South Africa. That's how influential this man was. I mean, when you even take a look at his discography, it's nothing but gold. Avenue Sounds releasing in 2016, and Pretty Girls Love Amapiano in 2019, The Return of Scorpion Kings in the same year, as well as Piano Hub, but also I Am the King of Amapiano, Sweet and Dust, releasing in 2020, and also in 2023 coming out with Isimo, and most recently Bob Motha in 2025, which is his latest album that was released in July. And as of 2025, Kabza just continues to reign supreme in Amapiano. And not only did he have his album to celebrate, but also the Scorpion Kings live event that recently took place continues to take his name to unseen heights.
Alright, so 50,000 fans will unite in Pretoria for a night that pays homage to the rise of Amapiano.
Amapiano family, the moment has come. Get ready, because the Scorpion Kings and Friends concert starts now.
The story of Kabza de Small is a story of passion and endurance, because genuinely it wasn't supposed to happen. A little boy from Mpumalanga becoming one of the biggest names in South Africa, becoming one of the biggest names in the world, was never part of the plan. But that's the funny thing about passion. What was never supposed to happen becomes a reality.
Choice. As a Kabza le Puri fela on Amapiano, so Amapiano, which means it's a culture. Even the next kid or you can see yourself go Soccer City, 90,000 people, and for